Hello, my name is Amy Sturkey. I am a pediatric physical therapist, and I'm here with Ilya, and Ilya is 3 months old, but he was 1 month premature, so he's only 2 months adjusted in age. And Ilya has developed a strong preference to turn his head to the right. And kids who prefer to turn to the right often usually have a left-sided preference in their tilt. So he's wanting to tilt his head to the left and look to the right. I'm holding his head straight now. In the previous video, we measured how much passive rotation he had. When he goes to his right, I could passively take him to about 105 degrees. When I tried to rotate him to the left, I could take his head to the left about 60 degrees. There's a 45-degree difference between the sides, and the severity of the torticollis is decided by two factors. One is how old is the child, because the earlier you catch a torticollis, the more likely it is that you can make a change in that. The other thing is the difference between the passive rotation on each side. So little Ilya has a 45-point discrepancy between his rotation to his right and his rotation to his left. So there's a 7-point scale that talks about the severity of the torticollis. So in torticollis, there is a range of severity that is on a 7-point scale. There are two ways in which the severity is described or categorized. The first one is how old is the child? If the child is birthed to 6 months of age, then you automatically fall in the first of 3 different categories. And then if you're older than 6 months old, then you end up in 4, 5, 6, and 7 degrees of severity. So in the grade 1 is early mild, and in these children, there is simply a postural preference to look one way, but there is either no range of motion differentiation between the sides, they're both the same, or 0 to 15 degrees of difference between the sides of rotation. In grade 2, these are early moderate, and these are children birthed to 6 months of age again, and they are ones that have muscle tightness of 15 to 30 degrees between cervical rotation difference between the two different sides. The next one is a grade 3, and in grade 3, these children are birthed to 6 months old and have a difference in their cervical passive rotation of 30 degrees or more between the two different sides. Now, little Ilya has a difference of 45 degrees between the two sides. So this puts him in this category, the grade 3, on a 7-point scale of the severity of the torticollis. And he gets in this range because they caught this really early. They noticed last month that he was starting to have this tightness between the sides. If you go up further, is grade 4. This is late mild, and this is children who are 7 to 9 months of age, and they have a muscle tightness of less than 15 degrees. And then grade 5, kids are 10 to 12 months of age with less than 15 degrees restriction between the two different sides in their cervical rotation. And grade 6, they present between 7 and 12 months of age with a muscle tightness of more than 15 degrees of cervical rotation between the two sides. And then grade 7 is late extreme, and these children present after 7 months of age and have a mass in their sternocleidomastoid, or after 12 months of age and have muscle tightness more than 30 degrees. So there are some kids that develop a thickening or even a knot in this muscle, the sternocleidomastoid, and if you have that knot or stiffness in section in your sternocleidomastoid, this muscle that runs from behind your ear to your clavicle, that muscle that tends to be the cause of this preference to turn one way or the other. If you have that mass, that immediately puts you in grade 7. I hope this discussion of the severity of torticollis is helpful for you, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.